So throughout history, people have been married for reasons other than love. Women were looking for financial security. Men were looking for legal sex, someone to, be a mom to their children, all kinds of reasons, Larry.
Marcia Zug writes all about it in her new book, You'll Do, A History of Marrying for Reasons Other Than Love. Marcia joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to have you with us. So did you have a sense of, let's say, going back 100 years, what the breakdown was, a love versus other reasons, and how that compares to today? Because it seems like the marriage rate is actually going down today.
Well, that's true. In the past, marrying for reasons other than love was the reason to get married. And it's only in the past 100 years or so that love has become the primary reason for marriage.
And we're not just talking about arranged marriages. We're talking about two people coming together because they know for other reasons without it being arranged by someone else, correct?
Absolutely. Historically, it was called the marital bargain, right? Women married for money and men married for the services a wife would provide.
Interesting.
And so what are the reasons that government, or perhaps it were religious institutions, what motivations were they giving or installing to encourage marriage?
Well, the government has long attached financial benefits to marriage, tax benefits, inheritance benefits. Right now, the government's thinking about doing it again with immigration benefits.
Does it backfire, though, when I think of the Native Americans who had land and oil money stolen?
It can be problematic when people are marrying only for those benefits and have no interest in the person they're marrying. There are absolutely cases where it turned deadly.
There was a mention here in the material about this that I had no idea that during the Depression, there was an encouragement for young women to marry Civil War veterans so they could get their pensions.
Yeah, it was seen by the government as a win-win. These elderly veterans would have someone who would take care of them in their later years. And these poor women would then have widow's benefits for life. So they would be taken care of as well. And it often worked out such that the families could keep the farm and keep them out of poverty.
And how has the stigma of being single evolved? And usually that means single woman, but how has that evolved over time?
Well, historically, single women, the term spinster, they were seen as sort of sad and pathetic. It was actually single men who had, who were more of a concern in the past, but that has changed today. Single men, bachelor life, but single women, a lot of the same ideas that a woman has failed if she hasn't managed to marry. And we haven't seen as much movement on that as you would have expected.
When you talk to people in today's day and age, there's less people getting married. Is it they're not finding love? Is it people not leaving their house? Is it they can support themselves? What are you finding?
I find that people don't think there's a reason to get married anymore. One of the things that I have found as a family law teacher and also in writing this is that people have no idea how many tangible benefits attached to marriage. And people often say, why do I need the government in my marriage? I can have this private love relationship with my partner without any government involvement. And they don't realize that marriage is a legal institution that gives people rights and benefits that you cannot get outside of marriage.
And some of those are not just for filing taxes. What else?
Inheritance, immigration, medical care, parenthood rights. There are more than 1,000 federal benefits alone that attach to marriage, and that's not counting benefits.
Do you see the single demographic having enough sway to maybe change that in the future?
Maybe. There's certainly a push. But I think most recently, the time to do that would have been the same-sex marriage debate. And instead, by recognizing same-sex marriage, we've just increased the marriage tent so more people can get these benefits. But we haven't challenged the idea that benefits should continue to attach to the married.
Well, the book is called You'll Do, A History of Marrying for Reasons Other Than Love. You can find Marcia on X. Thanks, Marcia.
Thank you.
Thank you.